Relish, pleasing or zestful flavor.
A quantity just sufficient to flavor, to be pleased or gratified by, enjoy.
We are hoping that what we bring to your table today might add some spice to your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Relish. I am Rowan Miller, and this is Don Patterson. Don, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's a good day.
It is.
It's a good day.
It's a beautiful day out. Nice, sunny.
Oh, man. Love the weather.
Yeah. Moving into fall, but we'll leave to start falling.
We won't start there. Shall we do one of the questions for you? Open question?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how are you seeing God change you? And this would be, how do you see God sanctify you? In other words, drawing you closer to that image that he would like to have you reflect to others.
I'd say when I was younger, I don't know, maybe 4 years or so ago. I mean, I think some of my friends could attest to this, my siblings, parents, but
really?
I would get like angered easily angered. I was a very competitive guy. I still am.
You are.
But everything had to go my way. I had to be playing great. I had to win, had to have my way, whatever. I think over time that has went away. I mean, you've called me like laid back, chill.
Yeah.
So,
and you
hopefully others are seeing that.
Having it my way to asking God to have it his way.
Yeah. So I think that's a good answer, and hopefully people now can attest to not being easily angered, because I know they can attest to me being easily angered before. So
yeah, isn't that neat how God changes us?
Yeah.
And it's always a good thing when he's doing the changing, for sure.
Yeah. So we got another episode with the fruit of the Spirit here. We're doing patience.
We're going to do patience today.
Long suffering.
Even though it's a poor translation of the passage.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the fruit of the Spirit, that's Galatians chapter 5, verses 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, and then patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And what's interesting is this word in the NIV is patience. And if you have your translation, and if your translations have patience, underline it. Go to the outside margin and say long suffering. Because in the Greek, that's exactly what it is. It's long suffering. It's macrothumia. Macro, of course, that's big, right? Large, long, if you will. It's a quantity that's bigger. Big quantity. Big quantity.
Yep.
And thumia is a little harder to boil down, but it's that passion. It's that glow. It's something for which, if you go down to the root, which is thuo, it is that for which you would sacrifice. So it almost is the same root as agape, peo, but theo, it's that root sacrifice. Long suffering is definitely a better translation than patience, because patience, what do we think patience about? I mean, what do we have patience? Well, I'm in the fast food line and I want to get my burger.
Yeah.
And patience is I wait as long as it comes without making any noise, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm not patient, I'm going to make noise. And it's interesting to watch people, especially maybe at food places.
Yeah.
When they don't think they've been given the right to order at the right time, or when their order takes a long time to come out and they start grumbling. And anyway, patience. Oh, I would say one thing. Don't ever ask God for patience.
For this one.
You'll end up with long suffering. You end up with, if you ask God for patience, you end up with long suffering. So you got to be careful what you pray for. The best English translation is the importance of what you're suffering for. Understand the importance of what you're suffering for and how long you're willing to suffer for it. So when you put it in the Christian context of love, joy, peace, it means that those are heavenly values, if you will, that you're willing to put the effort into. I mean, love, that's the agape, that's sacrificial love. So it's something you're going to put the effort into giving someone else. Joy, that's a value of the heart. And we have that joy because God gave it to us. And that peace is that is not just the absence of conflict. It's a value in the heart that's given to us by God. He emulates it most fully. So then when we come to long suffering, we realize it's in that same pattern, and it's a long time getting there, but it's worth having.
Okay.
And so it's long suffering. And I got thinking about biblical examples of long suffering, and I think of Ruth or Naomi. Naomi, and she walks with her daughter-in-law Ruth, and they go back to she's a long time waiting for anything good to come out of all the bad she went through. Job, that was a long time waiting for something good to come out.
Yeah.
40 years in the wilderness, from the time of the Exodus till the time that God's people could actually cross the Jordan into the promise that they were given.
Yeah.
Probably the greatest example of long suffering would be God himself.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine creating and then having that creation say, "Oh, I think we'll eat the apple," and then end up all these other things snowballs until, "Oh, I guess we need a flood. We're going to just take care of this." Oh, but Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. And so here's Noah. Okay. And then all these people come from Noah. And then all of a sudden they build this tower to God. And then God finally says, I'm just going to call out a person that I like. So Abraham gets called out. And then he develops into a great nation in exile, in Exodus. And in Egypt, and then he calls out that people and he tries to shape them by his laws. And then everybody does what's right in their own eyes and judges.
Yeah.
Then we have prophets and kings and I have to wonder how much long suffering God has already done by the time he's given them 400 years of silence and finally gives his son as the word become flesh to dwell among these people that he's tried to get a hold of all this time. You talk about long suffering.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word, and God's the best example of it.
Yeah. Which
makes us really pale in comparison. I mean, I was in high school one time. I know it's hard to believe, but it's been over 50 years ago. Actually, I know it's been 50 years ago. I have a high school reunion coming up, my 50th.
Yeah.
And all those dreams and things that, oh boy, if we could just grow up, if I could just get in the job force, if I could just get that job. And well, that was 50 years ago. I would never have dreamed I'd be where I am today.
Yeah.
But praise the Lord. And it's been worth every step. So when you're thinking about long suffering, especially if you're in a moment where things are painful, I think sometimes we have to ask our questions, our question of God in the midst of that pain. What would you have me do with this? What would you have me learn with this? Where would you have me go with this pain I'm currently in? Because I don't believe God gives those things to us without an ultimate plan, without an ultimate purpose. And if we worship a purposeful God,
mm-hmm.
then even the downtimes play into that plan. Long suffering. Yeah.
Isn't there a verse that no suffering is like you will not let us suffer more than we can bear, and
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13.
Purposeful or something. Or
1 Corinthians 13.
Yeah.
10:13. Yep. You're right. Of course, I probably have something on top of it. 10:13. Right there.
No temptation has come upon you except what is common to humanity, but God is faithful. He will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with temptation, he will also provide the way out so that you may be able to bear it.
Right. And then you've got James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy when you do trials of many kinds, because you know the testing of your faith develops perseverance, and perseverance must finish its work to leave you mature and complete, not lacking anything. And what's interesting is then Paul has almost the same thought in Romans chapter 5, verses 1 through 6. And we right at the end of verse 2, and we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. Not only so, but we also rejoice in our sufferings. Really? Because we know that suffering produces perseverance, almost the same words. Perseverance produces character, and character, hope. And hope does not disappoint us because God has poured out his love into our hearts by the Holy Spirit, whom he has given us. You see it verse 6, you see it just the right time. While we were still powerless, Christ died for the ungodly.
Mm-hmm.
Very seldom will anyone die for a righteous man, though for a good man, someone might dare to die. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Yeah, there's a reason. There's a plan. God's bigger than our biggest disappointment.
Yeah. It's kind of like even within our own suffering, like you said, you just keep zooming out, and there's others that are struggling or suffering more, and there's big, cool people that have suffered more and longer and harder than God, and you're just this tiny little piece that's suffering along with everybody else.
That's true. But one of the things that's interesting, when we as Christians are engaged in long suffering, and this is something that what you said brought to mind, is we become examples of the strength that Christ can give in the midst of suffering, so that we can actually, people will start wondering, how on earth are you able to put up with that situation God's put you in? And then you can say, well, Christ has given me strength. Christ walks with me day by day to get us through.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because people will come up to me once in a while and say, I don't know how you do what you do. And I said, well, I guess I didn't know anything other than doing it. And, with the challenges we have, we all do the best we can.
Yeah.
And I think doing the best we can is also a testimony of what God's willing to do in our lives and continue doing in our lives. And so many times I have some younger people say, I don't know why I have to go through this. Well, because you need to get to the other side. And the only way to the other side is getting through it. But every time we go through it, we get better. Something we learn or new things we understand about ourselves are revealed in those times of suffering. So it's like going to school. You enjoy school, right? Yeah.
At times.
Every day.
At times,
every day.
Yeah.
Go to school. And while you don't realize you're in a learning process, although your dad probably tells you that, it is getting you to the next level of knowing how the world works, how you work in the world, and then how you can affect the world by what you know and how you work. So see, all those math problems, you've got them for a reason.
Yeah.
Now get you ready for that vocation in life where you can use them effectively. Yeah, even calculus has a place. Believe it or not, it does. I don't use it in my office very often. But
You would definitely pick and choose.
Pick and choose.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at it, so maybe that's the part. Since I wasn't good at calculus, I didn't pick a vocation.
Maybe.
God didn't call me to a vocation that used it very much.
It wasn't one of your God-given abilities, maybe.
No, it's not one of my God-given.
He put you to better use, so.
Well, I sure hope so.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed. Share it with somebody. Comment.
Yes. Comment.
Subscribe. Gets our numbers up. So
Yes. Someday we might be able to pay off the light bill.
Maybe. Yeah, more and more people would get a hear.
We don't need your money. We just need your subscription.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us for this podcast. Feel free to become part of this ministry by sharing it with others. Our goal is to help each other grow deeper in our understanding of who God is and His calling to us in our daily lives. Thank you again for joining us, and may God bless your day.